This is Kurt Rada, Waycross Community Media, and this is Northwest Connects. And today our special guests are Northwest Local School District Superintendent Darrell, Intervention Assistant Diana Israel, and Struble Elementary Principal Karen Hood. And we begin first with Diana, who has won a very special award. It is called the Ohio Rise Award. That's pretty exciting. How do you feel about that?
I'm excited about it. I wasn't really sure what it was about, what it stood for, but once I got the award, I looked it up and kind of figured out, oh, this is amazing. So I'm not one to be out in the open, wanting to get all the glory. I like to be in the background. So it's wonderful to know that somebody thought that what I was doing was good.
So it still feels good.
Yeah.
I can understand that. Now, tell us about your particular role as the intervention assistant. What is that all about?
Okay, intervention assistant, I work with children that are low in reading and math, try to get them back on grade level. So I do small group pullouts and I do individual pullouts and work with those students to ensure that they get the academic achievements, hit their achievements.
Do you find that mom and dad really can't help with math anymore?
Yes, they say that a lot. They always come and say, I worked with my mom last night and she didn't understand what we were doing, so I try to simplify it where they can go back and say, hey, this is the way I was shown to do a certain problem.
Diana, what are the strategies used to support the academic growth?
Okay, so the strategies that I use, I meet with the teachers and we discuss individual students that are falling behind on math and reading. And at that point, we look at their baseline and then we decide what type of measures we're going to use to help them meet those specific goals.
Are you finding that more and more students are having more difficulty with math or reading? Would you say we're about even?
I would say equally, math and reading.
Now, how has the award itself impacted your approach to teaching as well as the intervention?
Well, it has not only made me excited about teaching, but I think the students and my principal here, she's a big support of what I do. So that has pushed me to want to do more. We're looking at some more programs that we want to start in the upcoming school year.
Well, speaking of that, 2 years ago, you started a multicultural program. Mm-hmm. Explain what the program is and how it has grown.
Okay, so the multicultural, it came about because I noticed that we had a lot of different students being enrolled into Northwest that were different cultures. And when you get that dynamic, a lot of times you don't know what, their culture is and you don't know what they do, what their needs are. So there was a little Nepali girl that asked me, she said, are we ever gonna have something where we can show our culture? And I've always worn my cultural dress since day one, I think.
Yes, ma'am.
And I said, sure, maybe I can think about putting something like that together. So it stemmed from there. I went on ahead, I talked to the principal, Ms. Hood, and I told her, I said, well, I want to get this together so those students don't feel out of place. A lot of students that are from different cultures seem to feel like they have to assimilate with the Western culture. So they're kind of dropping their culture, their language, and I want them to be proud of that. So I told them, don't ever not speak your language or dress in your culture. So I wanted to pull that out in those kids. So we got a little group together and we're doing pretty good with it.
Well, it really sounds great because you're listening to the students.
Mm-hmm.
They have a voice, and I think that's so critical. So how are the students being impacted by the program?
I think they're being impacted because a lot of these kids didn't know what their culture was. I had several students come to me and say, I don't have a culture. So I had to tell them, no, everybody has a culture. Go back and ask your mom, your dad, your grandparents what your culture is. They, in turn, came back and said, I know what my culture is, and I could see the excitement in their eyes because they learned something.
Well, it gives
About
them a further
themselves.
identity. Now, what advice do you have for the other educators who may be looking to make a similar impact?
Well, I would push every educator to do that. These kids, in this day and age, they need a little extra. I think students being involved in a club or activity, something that they really like to do, encourages them not only to want to be in that club, but to come to school. Absenteeism is a big issue, so hopefully, this is my thought, that if we can get them interested in some of the clubs, they'll come to school, and if they come to school, then we can teach them.
Well, you know, Karen, one of the things that's interesting, I went on the Facebook page and I saw how many photos are, how you're engaged, how the staff is engaged, and I really applaud you for that because I think it's really important to be able to connect to the students. Now, what qualities set Diana right here apart in receiving the Ohio Rise Award?
Well, I'm so honored to be sitting here next to her. I've had the pleasure of knowing Diana almost 10 years now, first as a grandparent volunteer at our building and now as a staff member. I think that in terms of impact, it's been a wonderful thing for our students to see, to recognize that achievements are valued, and just the way she shares with others has really been a positive influence in our building.
Now, how does her work reflect the school's commitment to the student having success?
Well, I think you heard Diana say how her role impacts kids that she works with. At Struble, we want to make sure that our students receive top-notch academic supports, social and emotional supports, and also just knowing who they are and that they have a voice. So through her work, through her intervention work, her small group work, her one-on-one groups, and also now her engagement with the club has really given students the opportunity to shine.
If you would, Karen, share the ways that her work has been able to influence the overall school community.
I think we're so fortunate to have her at our building. She's a positive influence. We're so blessed to have staff members that show up each day to do what's best for kids, and Diana is an excellent role model for others. Kids respect her, they listen to her, and they know that she will lead them in the right direction.
Now, what do you hope as the principal that the community learns from this recognition and the work that Diana is doing?
Just how much we value each one of our students, the gifts that they bring, the diversity that we have and celebrate at our building. And I think through the work that she's doing through the Multicultural Club, and of course the recognition of receiving the Rise Award, that can only be shared over and over again.
I have a daughter-in-law who's been a elementary school principal, and she talked about how satisfying you as a principal has got to be very satisfying to be able to be with children that young and start them on the path of education.
Oh, absolutely. It's a joy to go to work each day. Not going to say it comes without challenges, because it certainly does. But we are very proud of the work that we do. And as I said, I'm very fortunate to have Diana as a part of our Struble family.
We've been having a conversation with Northwest Local School Intervention Assistant Diana Israel and Struble Elementary Principal Karen Hood. And coming up next, we will have a conversation with Superintendent Darrell Yater. Well, Darrell, thank you so much for joining us once again. If you would, tell me what the Ohio Rise Award is.
So the Ohio Rise Award is a state-level program through the Ohio Department of Education and Workforce Development. It stands for Recognizing Inspirational School Employees, and it really does recognize school employees that embody the true spirit of inspiring the best of students. It's in its 5th year, and this award is given statewide, so all districts are able to recognize and submit an application for someone that they would see who embodies the true qualities of that award. We were lucky that our person we recognize was chosen statewide. At this point, she does move on to a national level competition through the Federal Department of Education. So we are excited to see Ms. Israel progress through that.
Now, tell us about this award that Diana has won about the quality of education in the Northwest Local School District, and also how these achievements really align with the district's goals and also the values.
So one of our highest priorities is obviously student achievement. It's number one in our strategic plan, and it's everything that we do is to support students' academic growth so they can reach their potential. And this award that Ms. Israel got is really about all of our people coming together and inspiring that growth in students. And she exudes that ability to bring the best out of students, to see the best in students, and to inspire them to be the best version of themselves. And so it completely aligns with our mission, vision, and our core beliefs. And she embodies all of those on a daily basis.
And in talking to her, there's no question she's the right choice. Now, how do you as the superintendent view Mrs. Israel's work impacting the education beyond the school district?
So her impact is far and wide, other than just the work she does in the building with students and the work she does with the clubs that she's initiated and began in the district. She also serves on a myriad of committees. So she represents her building on a management council that we have within the district. She has sat on our diversity council, on our master facility plan. She's on every committee that you can possibly imagine throughout the district. She stays engaged at every possible level as an employee and a community member. And so that engagement really does show her influence beyond just her building, but district-wide.
Well, now, Darrell, how does the district support the paraprofessionals in their professional development and also the innovative practices?
So all of our employees play an integral part in us meeting our goals as a district and really embodying our mission and vision. And the role of a paraprofessional is really critical in that student support and that ability to really bridge the gap for students, to close gaps, bridge their performance, really meet their potential. And so we work a lot to make sure that all of our staff have the appropriate training. Ms. Israel right now is on a committee with a state level committee that we're involved in called OPEP, and it's Ohio's Partnership for Excellence in Paraprofessional Preparation. And she's part of a representative group in our district that's really looking at the role of the paraprofessional, how we can elevate, increase that role, and support that role to be more effective. And so her voice is just reverberating throughout our entire organization.
Well, now, what message do you have for the students and the educators by her story?
So I think her story is one that we amplify throughout the district, but we also replicate as much as we can, because people like Diana, and we have so many in our district who go above and beyond for our students, who see value in our students, who see the potential in our kids on a daily basis. And so she really does exemplify and set the tone for the rest of the district. And so many other people are doing the work throughout the district to bring the best out of our students. It's just nice that Ms. Israel is able to be given this statewide award and be recognized for the immense impact that she has, but she also represents so many other people who are doing similar work throughout the district and having amazing impact.
We have been visiting with Northwest Local School District Superintendent Darrell Yater, also Intervention Assistant Diana Israel, and Struble Elementary Principal Karen Hood. I'm Kurt Radel of Waycross Community Media. Join us next time on Northwest Connects.